I want to encourage somebody that feel hopeless, that feel there's no way out, that feel trapped, that feel captured. Now Jeremiah said, I have knew you before you entered in your mother's womb, and I set you aside, I put you apart. Now Genesis 1 verse 1 said, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. But get this, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. I'm here to tell somebody, you may feel lost and hopeless in your problem, but you need to recognize the Spirit of God because it is hovering with a solution. You might feel betrayed in your storm and you feel darkness and hopeless, but you need to recognize the Spirit of God because it is hovering with peace. You might feel rejected, but if you recognize the Spirit of God that is hovering, you will feel acceptance, you will feel love, you will feel kindness, and it will form joy. I don't care in what position you are. The moment you recognize the Spirit of God, you will see things happen in your life. You may feel betrayed, but if you recognize the Spirit of God, God, why am I in the storm? You are in the storm for you to recognize the Spirit in the storm. There's a Spirit in the storm. There's a Spirit in your problem. There's a Spirit in your prison. There's a Spirit, and it is hovering. The Spirit of God is active, is alive, is hovering. You must remember that the earth, it was dark and it was formless, but the Spirit of God was available. There was no way for mankind to live on earth, but the Spirit of God, it was available. There's no way for things to happen on earth, but the Spirit of God, it was available. And God said, let there be light. So the moment you recognize the Spirit of God hovering in your problem, God will say, let there be a solution. The moment you recognize the Spirit of God in your storm, God will say, let there be calmness. The moment you recognize the Spirit of God in front of the mountain, God will say, remove it. In order for God's word to be active in your life, in order for God's word to move in your life, in order for God to release a word in your life, in order for God to reveal the word in your life, in order for God to give permission in your life, in order for God to move obstacles in your life, you have to recognize the Spirit of God that is hovering. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you and I have put you aside. That was the Spirit of God that was hovering. Before you entered the womb of your mother, the Spirit of God was there and He already put you aside. So I want to encourage someone here tonight. There's hope in your hopeless situation. There's light in your darkness. There's solutions in your problems. But you need to recognize the Spirit of God. You need to recognize the Spirit of God.